This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Marissa Roberto. This is Sportscentre presented by Monaco's Barbecue and Bar. And the Oilers are back in Dallas tonight for Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. And while Game 1 started well for Edmonton, it was a third period to forget, as they conceded 5 goals in less than 17 minutes en route to a 6-3 loss. But despite the loss, the Oilers are still in a decent position, as they have a solid track record of bouncing back over the last few years. This past regular season, the Oilers won 19 of 34 games after a loss, and were especially good on offense, as they scored at the rate of a top 10 offensive team in those games. But that's not all, as the Oilers tend to respond well after rough defensive outings, just like their loss on Wednesday night. In the regular season, Edmonton went 8-5 in the next game when giving up 5 or more goals, and were even better last year in the playoffs, going undefeated in those scenarios. They've even done this against the Stars specifically. After losing Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals at home last year, they followed it up with a 5-2 victory in Game 4. And oh yeah, didn't lose another game the rest of the series. So even though the Oilers would rather be up 1-0 right now, the track record suggests they will have a chance to even the series in Game 2. We'll see how it all plays out in Dallas tonight, where our friends at FanDuel have them as a slight underdog on the road. Listen, we all know Edmonton's got this in the bag, okay? We've seen the stats year after year. Edmonton fans, worry not. Some breaking news from Leafs land. A day after Brendan Shanahan's departure as president of the Maple Leafs, MLSE CEO Keith Pelley addressed the media today and revealed he has no plans to replace Shanahan as president, and instead will work more closely with GM Brad Treliving. He also reiterated his confidence in Treliving and head coach Craig Berube, who will continue in their roles. For Leafs fans and for people who hate the Leafs, don't say this isn't news, okay? You know that it's news to you. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference Final, the Panthers are in cruise control. They now have a 2-0 series lead after blowing out the Hurricanes last night, handing Carolina their 14th straight Eastern Conference Final loss. And since Florida's comeback win in Game 3 against the Leafs last round, they have been dominant. They're now 5-1 in the last 6 games, outscoring their opponents 24-6. And the special teams are firing on all cylinders. And not to pile of bad news on Hurricanes fans, but Matthew Tkachuk came to life in Game 2. Because after a relatively quiet second-round series, Tkachuk snapped a 10-game goal drought Thursday and added an assist. And in 2 games against Carolina, he's nearly matched his offensive output for the second round. So it's no surprise the Panthers are the favorite to hoist the cup on FanDuel. And if the Rat King keeps rolling, we could see those odds shorten. Isn't that lovely? Isn't that wonderful for them? I'm so happy for them. Listen, normally I love when the team that beats my team wins it all, because then you know you lost to the champions. But not in this case. Not when it's Florida. Sorry, I'm having some heavy cope right now. Over to the association now, where a little Canadian history took place, as Hamilton, Ontario's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander received his MVP award ahead of Game 2 of the West Finals.
For you, it's always been team first, but you led this team to the best record in the NBA, the most wins in franchise history. Congratulations. You are the NBA Kia MVP.
SGA became the second Canadian to ever win the MVP award, and he followed up with an MVP caliber performance against the Timberwolves, putting up 38 points and 8 assists in the win. It was already Shea's 9th 30-point game in this playoff run, just 2 shy of the Thunder franchise record, held by another former MVP, Kevin Durant. And with SGA rolling and his Thunder up 2-0 in the West Finals, it's no surprise they are the overwhelming favorite to take the Larry O'Brien Trophy home on FanDuel. Meanwhile, the East Finals resume tonight, where the Knicks will try to rebound after choking in Game 1 at home. And if you're a Knicks fan, the positive you can take away from Game 1 is that New York was a better team for about 47 minutes of that game. The bad news? You better have a big lead down the stretch against these Pacers, because teams trailing by 7 or more in the last 50 seconds of the playoffs are 4 in 1,702 all time. And the Pacers are responsible for 3 of those wins this year alone. I know we told you this stat yesterday, but it's such a crazy stat that it needs to be reiterated. This is absolutely bonkers. And of course, you can catch Game 2 of the East Finals tonight on TSN. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. It's a huge weekend in the auto racing world. Both the Monaco Grand Prix and the Indy 500 take place on Sunday. And to break it all down, we've got our racing analyst and friend of the show, Tim Hauraney. Great to see you, Tim.
Hey, Marissa. How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Let's start with F1. What storyline do you have your eye on coming into the 8th race of the season?
Yeah, big storyline that I'm following this weekend has to be that of Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. It has been a challenging start to the season for Ferrari. I think a lot of us thought that this team was going to be way more competitive to start this season off. Leclerc has been frustrated at times with the car that they have built in some races. He's been quite quick and has been able to do some pretty impressive things, but the car just needs more performance under it. And same goes for Lewis Hamilton, who's still in that learning environment, trying to come to grips and get to grips with this new environment and car that he's having to deal with. For Charles Leclerc, Monaco is his home race. He won here from pole last year. And looking at the results from Free Practice 1, which just ended, it's looking quite positive for Charles Leclerc. This is a track that he's very good at. It's a driver's track, so the driver can make the difference. So if your car isn't that great, the driver can really make up a lot of the deficits for those imperfections with your car at a track like Monaco. So Charles Leclerc, definitely one of the drivers I'm keeping an eye on this weekend.
Meanwhile, in IndyCar, Joseph Newgarden could become the first driver to ever three-peat at the Indy 500. Could we see some history in Indianapolis this weekend?
Yeah, I think it could be quite tough for Newgarden. In this one, Marissa, he's starting from the back of the grid for the Indy 500, failed a technical inspection last weekend, so that has put him in the rears. So it could be difficult. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. I mean, it can happen. It is the Indy 500. There are a ton of different strategies a team and a driver can take to make up a load of positions throughout the race, because it's a long race. But there's other drivers, I think, that need a little bit of spotlight here. Robert Schwartzman, the rookie, getting pole for the Indy 500. He's one to watch out for. And the other one in particular is Pato O'Ward. This is a driver who has been close to winning this race, especially last year when Newgarden had that tremendous pass around the outside of O'Ward to go on to win. So Pato O'Ward is another driver for everyone to keep an eye on, because he has high hopes of winning this weekend's Indy 500.
Timothy, always a pleasure.
All right, thanks very much for having me, Marissa. Really appreciate it. And thanks to producer Jeff as well.
As always, you can catch both races right here on TSN. Our coverage of the Monaco Grand Prix begins at 7:30 a.m. Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, and that is followed by the Indy 500. Time now for my favorite segment and yours, We Love Sports Today.
Why we love sports today.
Sports are great for creating memories with the fam. Golf in particular is perfect because it suits all ages.
You got that one, bud? Lab, Co. Thank you.
Thanks, babe. No, you know what? Forget about babysitters. Just take your young child to the course with you. Everybody do it. This next shot is memorable, but for completely different reasons.
Oh, shoot. You all right, Grandpa? Oh! Oh, shoot.
No, not Grandpa. He wasn't really hiding very well behind that tree now, was he? That's it for me today. We'll see you right back here Monday. Have an amazing weekend.